Yeah.
My favorite.
It's Judd's Hockey Show.
Was that a road trip? Was that some road trip? Judd, AJ Fredrickson here to discuss the fallout with you. The Wild now 8 games in. 4-1 loss last night to the Devils. They go on a 5-game road trip. One win, 3 losses, one overtime loss, which is 1-3-1. Well, let's call it 1-4. Three possible points out of 15 possible points.
Yeah.
And we'll throw out some more ideas here, but John Hynes obviously post game in his comments not happy with how the Wild is playing. They're not playing the style that they want, all of that, and that's true. There's just far too many incomplete games, but let's just get back to it. It's the goal scoring to me. Like I just don't know, and it's starting to sound like a broken record, but where is the goal scoring going to come from? Boldy scored last night. Kaprizov, it's incredible. He's got 4 power play goals and an empty net goal. He has no 5-on-5 goals. Boldy has a couple. Hartman has a couple, but those both came in the opener against the Blues. Eriksson Ek has a goal, but that's a power play goal. Foligno has no points. Tarasenko has a goal, which I believe was a 5-on-5 goal. But nonetheless, where is the production going to come from before this team either has to just say, okay, this is our identity. We're not, we might not be a playoff team, and or go out and make a trade.
There's three routes. The first one, and probably the one that nobody wants them to actually do, which is just admit what you just said, which is this is who we are. We're going to have to rely on our 2 stallions to get out of the barn, run free, and probably score a couple goals. Otherwise, our goaltending is going to have to do a bulk of the work, and we're going to need to lock down defensively. Right now, I don't think the deep pairings are set up for that. With a few tweaks, you could probably make 2 pretty solid defensive lines and one that's going to be a liability, but have some offensive upside. And then it's just 3 lockdown lines after that top line. Like, you guys go out there, your job is to not get scored on. You better hope Kirill, Matthew, and whoever's centering them, whether it's Rossi, Ek, they get the job done. That's option 1, and the one I don't think anybody wants. 2 is you have some of these guys who I think have had really slow starts to the season, probably take a step forward or multiple steps, and then you get healthy again. Matt Zuccarello set to be back here after a little while. I don't know if that's going to be like a shot of adrenaline to this team, but it is an addition that's not a 4th liner. So that's one thing. Marcus Foligno. Now, granted, I'm not expecting Marcus Foligno to be he's not going to be a point per game guy. I don't expect him to be a point every 4 games guy, but it's been an awfully slow start to the season, I think. And even he would probably admit it. If he showed a little more life and impact, I think that would go a long ways, but this is just an uncharacteristic slow start. We've seen Ryan Hartman regress a little bit. I actually liked his game last night. And I will say, as much as I'm going to mention them right now, Johansson, I thought actually had a pretty good night last night. Tarasenko, pretty good night last night, but I need that more often, more consistency, and even probably a little bit more, because you're getting second line minutes. You're supposed to stand out, and I'm supposed to notice you. The third option here is a trade. And I really think this is probably the most obvious one, and the one that has the highest probability of happening, because I don't see a lot of the other things really being too likely. A trade is probably what is most likely to happen. The question is who and what's the price, Judd?
All right, so we talked about, with Jesse on the Wednesday show, we talked about Artemi Panarin because his name has come up. Frank Saravelli and Elliot Friedman, 2 well-respected insiders, talked about Panarin maybe being an option. He's going to be a free agent on July 1st. He, I think, turned down a Rangers offer, which was not great in the first place. But obviously that's not going to happen for a while. Like here's my thing, and I wrote this on my Substack. They need help right now. Like you can't wait. You can't say, hey, let's get by March. You could just punt. I mean, you can trade veterans yourself by March at this rate. So they mentioned Panarin. We talked about that. Panarin is older. He's going to be very expensive on July 1st as a rental. If you could get him now, the question is price. Here's one that would cost you an arm and a leg, but there is some sustainability because he's 29. And he is going to be a free agent as well, and he is going to get paid as well. So, but what about Alex Tuch? He was yours at one time. in the expansion draft situation, I think you traded him to the Golden Knights to hang on to like Matt Dumb at the time, which was ridiculous. Turned out to be terrible. But you know what? He was very good in Vegas. He had a really good year last year with the Sabres. He's going to be a free agent. He's going to get a lot, but he is a goal scoring threat. And he's exactly the type of guy, as far as a wing goes, he's not a center, but as far as a wing goes, he's the type of guy that could be easily on your top 6, if not just your top 3. He would cost you an absolute ton. Unlike Panarin, though, if you were bound and determined to hang on to him, he'd cost you a lot, but he is not at as advanced of age as the Breadman is.
I like Tuch's game a lot. I mean, he's a guy that is, one, he's a leader. I think he's wearing, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's wearing the A out in Buffalo right now. He's 29 years old. He is, I mean, he's familiar with the area, so it's not like he's going to a foreign land, so you don't have to worry about the adjustment stuff. He also doesn't strike me as a guy, but
he doesn't care.
One, he's got playoff experience. He came inches away from winning his team a Stanley Cup with the Golden Knights if it wasn't for a Braden Holtby paddle to cast him aside. He's got playoff experience, and from my gatherings, like off the ice stuff and personality wise, he seems very like he's easy to get along with in the locker room, but he's no nonsense. He's going to call people out if needed. He's going to speak his mind when needed. If they have a bad night, we're not going to get this. Oh, I don't know if we have to generate 5-on-5. The power plays. He's going to say, no, it's an issue. We have to address that. And I like his production. Buffalo has been they're on a historic playoff drought right now. And actually last season, I thought they were going to snap that. Offensively, it's weird. They have players, but they just can't put it all together. Last season, he played all 82 games, 36 goals, 67 points, 36 goals last season, 22 the year before, 36 the year before. And before that, I mean, he was 25 and still kind of finding his game. But you're seeing now a guy who's playing 74, 75 plus games a season. He's staying healthy. He's physical. He's got a scoring touch. He's got a playmaking touch. It seems like a pretty good fit for, I mean, it's not a superstar. This is a guy not making 11.6 million like Panarin. This is a guy making 4.75. Yeah,
except he will be after July 1st. That's the question.
Yes.
He's going to make 11 or 12, I think, in the new world.
Yes, and it'll be but the beauty is right now, if you want to acquire him, he's a lot easier. It's like tic-tac-toe instead of a Rubik's Cube trying to fit him into your cap space. So you can make it work. The question here is, what is the price that Buffalo one wants to part with him for this early in the season? Granted, they're off to a rough start, but he is in the last year of a deal. I think he's a commodity that multiple teams would want. So it does kind of spice things up there. And two, given the fact that you don't have a second rounder, I feel like the jump from a first to second round pick is massive. And now that you don't have that for this year, are they willing to potentially take one down the road and not the upcoming draft? Or what sort of prospects do you pick up? And I think we all know at least one name that is getting thrown back their way. It's Liam Ogren, no matter what. The problem is, what else on top of that do you need?
And if you trade him, so if you went to Buffalo right now, and again, you need help right now. And, Bill Guerin was on the telecast last night talking about Zuccarello's return. Zuccarello is 38 years old. He had some type of surgery. He's out until next month, and we had no idea how he's going to play when he gets back, okay? So, a 38-year-old is not going to come in and save the day. He'll help. I agree with you on that. Yeah. The thing with Tuch is, if you make the trade now, it's going to cost you even more because you're going to get, basically a full season, which for the Wild's purposes would be great. But I think we're talking Ogren. I think we're talking Rossi probably, which again takes away from your centers. Yurov has played. I mean, I've been impressed. His defensive acumen is really good, which to me is the most important thing, right? Because like in John Hynes' world, if you're not solid defensively, or heck, most coaches, that's what gets you scratched. So there's no good answer here, but the reality is you're going to have to make a decision. And, back to your point from last night, because I don't disagree with your point. Ryan Hartman played a pretty good game. He didn't score a goal. Like he just played. He played like a third liner should play. Like this is not a. He played. The Vegas Golden Knights series. He was so good. It's like, look at what Ryan Hartman can do. Well, last night was sort of a Ryan Hartman. Okay, he played fine, but he didn't have a goal. Didn't have a point. Right.
Yeah.
Marcus Johansson. He played fine, but he didn't have. Well, he didn't. Yeah, but he didn't move the needle at all when it came to beating. What was his name? Nico Dawes, who was making his first start of the season in goal and looked like I thought
it was Brodeur in the net.
Yeah, I mean he looked like Jacques Plante. Tarasenko. Here's another one too. Okay, so Tarasenko, I'm with you. He played fine, but you don't have time for him. Like, when is it going to click, or is he just sort of cooked in the goal scoring department? So this is where I don't understand. Okay, you play your style. And I didn't think the Wild played a terrible game. Because, in Washington on Friday it was awful, right? I thought the Wild played an okay game. I'm sort of with you. And you still scored one goal. And New Jersey's a better team, just flat out. They're faster, they're better, they're more skilled. Jack Hughes is unbelievable player. But all of that being said, like, I didn't go away from last night saying, okay, if the Wild came back and played their game there, they're going to beat the Devils. And this is where, Kaprizov's going to score more. Ek is going to score more. But let's go down that list. Who... Guys who are not scoring right now, who you're like, you know what, they're going to carry the Mayo here. Kaprizov, Ek can to a certain degree. He'll score some goals. Yep. Boldy's at 5 goals, 2 even strength, so he's been doing okay. Yeah. I mean, heck, Kirill has 5 goals. It's just the 4 power play and then the one into the empty net in the Garden. But other than that, Foligno plays his role, but he's not going to score a bunch. I go through that. Trennan, like, if you go through this, Hinostroza, who, by the way, was promoted to the top line at one point in the third period. John Hynes put his lines in a blender. He had, I think he had Tarasenko on the third line.
I think so.
He clearly was frustrated. But I just go through that list right now, and even if Zuccarello comes back, I don't see this. Oh, okay, you know what? They've got 5 guys right now that are going to pick it up. They'll get some more goals, but is that going to be enough? And quite frankly, this trip too, Age, if you look at the goaltending, I think was really damn good. I don't know how much more you can ask other than for Gustafsson to stand on his head for 60 minutes of action. I don't know how much more you can ask for. So that's my concern is I don't see if the Wild's playing Wild hockey as defined by John Hynes. Where's it going to come from? Where, okay, now last night turns into a 3-1 win, a 3-2 win, a 5-4 win. I just don't see it.
That's the thing about the trip for me, which is you just look at last night's game. What was the one factor that I think probably needs to be improved? Yeah, they went 0 for 3 on the power play, but they ran
0
into
for 11 last 4 games.
0 for 11. And granted, it's not like the Devils penalty kill is leaking power play goals for the opposition. They, after last night, now completed 21 consecutive times. They're good. But at the same time, when you start as hot as you do, and now you have this narrative that your power play is really good, I need to see a few more chances. And that's the thing. I felt like there wasn't that many high danger chances on those 3 opportunities last night. The power play zone entry still needs to be addressed, whether it's Zeev Buium, whether it's Jared Spurgeon quarterbacking that top line, because we did see Buium get I think the inevitable demotion at a certain point because they've struggled now. But the goaltending was good. The defense had some laps at times, but I don't think anything that I recollect is like that cost them the game. That, it's the 5-on-5 scoring. So How does that get addressed? And the quick injection of the offense is to make a trade, because the 3 guys who stand out in my mind, who you need more from, they played solid games last night, but not second minute solid. They are or second line solid. They are solid third line. Hartman, Johansson, Tarasenko. If that was the Wild's third line, I'd live with that. And what they did last night, I'd be like, yep, that's a team that can be set up for success if they're getting that from their third line. Yep. That's essentially their second line. you have to get more from those guys, and I just don't expect it. That's the major problem. That's why I think they have to start looking for a trade.
I agree.
The price is this early. It's hard to have a team say, you know what? Yeah, we're already punting on a certain player or something this season, not even 10 games in. So like any price tag that you're going to actually agree on is, I think, a skyrocketed price. And so you're going to have to wait. Like there's not a deal that's coming in the next couple of days here. You're going to have to wait through at least one of the first major holidays. Thanksgiving is probably the one.
Is there a world in which because Kaprizov signed now, he's signed, sealed, and delivered 8 years after this season, so it's basically 9 years. Is there a world in which you silently just suffer through it, so you don't give up, your top end talent, where you try to wait till next July 1st? Like, can you see a world? Because I struggle with this, because Craig Leopold wants playoff games, which, by the way, they ain't going to get at this rate. And Bill Guerin is super competitive. Do you see a world in which they just sort of back off and say, okay, the price for Tuch Panarin right now is just astronomical. And at the rate they're going, by the time that we get to the trade deadline in March, it's going to be done. So you're not going to make that trade in March and say, hey, join our last place team. It's great. You think they would do that and just accept it? Because I guess my only question is, if you get Tuch now, is it going to save you? It's going to help you, I think. But what's the price? What's the cost? It's a very baffling situation to me, because I don't see a really good way out, and I don't know how good they're going to be regardless.
I mean, this is the indication of I think the worry of you, myself, and Jesse preseason, which was they're good enough to be like a fringe playoff team, but they're not bad enough to miss it completely and they don't have a clear direction. They're kind of just there right now. And granted, things could change when they are fully healthy. But once again, I don't think Matt Zuccarello, Zach Bogosian, Nico Sturm coming into this lineup all of a sudden catapults them into, clear playoff contention, maybe Stanley Cup favorite teams. I think they would. My fear with that idea that you're throwing out is that Craig wants to win games. Leopold wants to win games. And I think Guerin, I mean, I know last season it was, he's fine. He's safe. And I think he still is, because you just signed the franchise talent to 8 years, but also it's not like he's not known to be aggressive. He's going to go out and make moves. And if they have a conversation and it's just adamant, we got to do something. Bill's going to probably do something. I just don't think, I think whatever it is not going to get the needle moved enough. And so it's quietly behind the scenes. Yeah, we just have to eat this season. And that's crazy to say now, 8 games in?
Well, or we just hope, like you can hope. Like you're free to hope. I just don't know. I don't look down the line charts and say, okay, you know what? Hoping makes a lot of sense, because Yakov Trenin is going to take off. Foligno is going to take off. And that's the problem. Okay, second question. Do you think, and this might be totally unfair, but it's hockey. Do you think John Hynes should be in trouble? If this continues, this is a 5-game road trip, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday, they have games on Saturday and Sunday at home. That starts a 6-game homestand. If they continue to struggle to score goals, do you think that he should be in trouble?
Not this second, because we've seen teams start slow, and we've seen this team start awfully slow. Let's see. What is it right now? It's October 23rd.
But Thanksgiving is sort of, to your point about a trade, that's sort of the trigger date for a lot of things.
And that's about a month from now, right?
Yes, sir.
If what we're watching continues for the next month, I think he's in trouble. As much as I know him and Bill Guerin are good coworkers and they enjoy each other, and it was a quick turnaround from the last. We're gonna let Dean Evison go, and now we're gonna hire John Hynes basically within the hour. That's the easiest cop out for anything. You're not gonna. For the play, you're not going to fire the GM on a whim like that a month in. You're not going to trade like a superstar player hoping, hey, things just magically get better with whatever return we get. The coach, unfortunately, has to fall on the sword, and I think John Hynes knows, and he's been around long enough to know, if a month goes by and they're still performing like they are and they're losing games because they're only putting up one even strength goal at best, that, I mean, yeah, it points to him. For you here, do you think it makes more sense if you're looking to Buffalo to do more of a blockbuster-esque trade rather than just a like we want just Tuch to patch up the boat? Like, do you revisit potentially what was being looked at this offseason with Tage Thompson, where you go Tage Thompson, you go Alex Tuch in return for a like
for
Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, Carson Lambos, a first-round pick. Like, now it's we recognize that you didn't want it before, absolutely, and that makes sense. But also, I didn't like Brussels sprouts when I was a kid. I've grown now. My taste buds have changed. I appreciate them when they're cooked great. Guess what? I'll devour a whole bowl of Brussels sprouts. Maybe they like Brussels sprouts. Maybe the Buffalo Sabres are more open to Marco Rossi now. They don't have John Jason Paterka anymore flying down the wing. They don't have the wins, and all the hope is maybe they did a month ago before the season where, hey, things are finally starting to change. Behind the scenes, they might already have word that if things don't improve, some of these guys want to get going and get out of here before it gets too late and all this stuff. Capitalize now. And if you make a trade early, that's where Tage Thompson could be on the block. Alex Tuch, he's already expiring. He makes sense. And now you have Marco Rossi under contract for a couple years. You can really figure out what you want to do. And the Wild, I'm sure, are willing to throw a couple prospects in and picks that, frankly, won't benefit them right now when they want to win. Like you're talking about, they need stuff now, and those picks don't do anything.
I think Buffalo in this scenario that you're talking about, if it's Thompson and Tuch, which I love, I think Buffalo would ask for Urov back as well. I don't know they'd want Ogren. Like the Wild has so devalued the kid. Like Rossi, Urov, a first-round pick. I mean, we're talking two guys that are big-time players, and something else. That's my guess. Might be Ogren. I don't know. Again, the Wild's buried him. Like they've buried him, and it's always you got to go to Iowa and play a little bit more. It's like, well, he's showing everything he can in the American Hockey League. But I think they would ask for Urov as well, who I think has a nice future. I really like him. I see a lot there already, and he's new. But that's my point about, or do you just stand pat and hope? And if you have to write the season off, you do. Like that's the question. But then you have a lot of business things there because, I mean, we already see on a per game basis, there's suites available now. And that's not a good sign because I don't remember suites being available till the last couple of years on a per game basis. You want to make the playoffs. Kaprizov is tied here. I mean, you'd like him to be happy, but he's tied here. So like, this is the quandary. This is the conundrum. But okay. So let's say it's Rossi, Urov, a first round pick. Lambos, you said?
I think, yeah, Lambos. I mean, he still has upside and they haven't really shown anything. So a team might say, you know what? Yeah. It's like, I don't think it's a lot of value there, but it's some.
Okay, let's say Urov, Rossi, a first round pick, and Jurasek for Tage Thompson and Alex Tuch.
You get a third round pick back, and I say sure.
Okay. I mean, I'm guessing you could.
I guess that's an instant reaction. I would want to like write out the line combos that I think would be.
You got your top center.
So your top center, you got Tage Thompson on the left. You've got Kirill, right? You got Boldy. Second line, Erikssonek. Outside of him, you're having Alex Tuch on the right, and then what? Johansson or Tarasenko on the left.
Well, when Zuccarello's back, once Zuccarello's back, here's my guess. It would be Tage Thompson centering for Kirill Kaprizov and Zuccarello, and your second line would be Erikssonek with Boldy and Tuch. I mean, that's a pretty attractive.
Am I crazy? I like it a lot, actually.
But that's what I'm saying is Buffalo's going to get. I mean, Buffalo. Well, I shouldn't say this. They might lose the trade. They're the Sabres, but theoretically they shouldn't. I mean, they should get a ton back. But if you could get Tage Thompson, first of all, that solves so many problems. Like we're sort of burying the lead here, but part of the lead is they do need a center. They do need a center. I mean, Erikssonek, if on a Stanley Cup team, he's what? Third line center? Like he's really good at it, but he's what? He's a grinder, right? who can give you some offense, get in front of the net.
Second line, depending on how he's used. But yeah, it's up or
But
down.
I'm saying if you got the Chalice, if you're skating around with the Chalice over your head on June the 28th or whatever the hell the date the Stanley Cup ends, and Eriksson Ek is going to have his name engraved on that Chalice, he's probably a third line guy.
Probably.
He's probably a third line guy, but I could have him be a second line guy. I'm saying right now, none of the pieces, in my opinion, aside from the two wingers and when Rossi is going well, none of the pieces seem to really be fitting. And we know that Eriksson Ek's best days have come, back with the Grief line. It came playing with Foligno and Greenway. Perhaps you can get him back. Is he still in Buffalo? I don't know. I don't really care.
Yes, Jordan Greenway is. He has a no trade clause.
That was just a smart ass comment. I don't want him back. But I mean, yes, if you could do that, if you get Tage Thompson, who we talked about this about a month and a half ago, he signed, as I recall, for a long time as well. So you've just got his contract there. I'd be very, very tempted, but you would have to include, I mean, it couldn't be Ogren and Rossi. I don't think. I think it would have to be Yurov, Rossi, maybe Ogren, but you probably a third nice piece in a draft and a first round pick. And then, like you said, you'd probably get a draft pick back, but not a first round pick.
Oh no, you're more, it's the, hey, GM to GM, do me a favor, throw something back that probably means nothing in the long run, but it helps look on paper for the general public. Yeah.
Amen. All right. We solved all the problems. No, we didn't. The Wild returns home for a 6-game homestand, and we will see how that goes. Like, if it does not go well, I don't know what's next, because the Wild can say we're not concerned. Like, it's early. But if you look at the start, I mean, this team got off to a great start. I believe they didn't suffer their first regulation loss last season until their 8th game, which is what they played last night, I believe. And if you remember, those points became the absolute reason why they made the playoffs, because they almost blew that last playoff spot. Granted, Kaprizov was hurt, but that hot start saved their bacon. So you don't have that now. And again, I don't know if there is a cavalry coming to save the day. He's AJ. I'm Judd. We'll talk to you soon.